Hello everyone, my name is Kurazarrh, and welcome to Sunless Sea. We are playing Sunless Sea on the channel to replace Star Sector, and Sunless Sea was chosen because I put up a big list of games on my Patreon, and my patrons voted, and then I put it to a general vote, and you picked Sunless Sea. Between this and Unexplored 2 and Baldur's Gate 3, Sunless Sea won out. Sunless Sea is a sort of a Lovecraftian horror exploration game on a sea, a subterranean sea called the Zee, beneath London. And it's a very spooky, kind of creeping horror game with lots of story and a lot of text, and it's a pretty inscrutable game. I think we're going to go ahead and dive right into it, so we're not sitting here on the menu screen for 12 minutes. So let's go and bang on the new game button. Now, the game did warn me that it doesn't perform gracefully at this resolution. We're going to try it, and if it's a little funky, we will fix it later. As you can see, the game sort of just dumps you right in London, or fallen London, as it were, because that's where we are. And we have a choice of either choosing a past or taking a past wreathed in shadows, where you sort of decide what you want to do later. And I think we want to take this. We are a mystery. There we go. We have a lodge in a room above the blind helmsman. Someone wants passage. We are a mystery. Let's continue. And we are now in Fallen London. We have a few echoes. These are the currency in the game. Think of them as euros, I guess. Dollars. Dollary dues. And the game is played when you're in town, basically like a click and point adventure or a storybook adventure. So you don't wander around town, you sort of sit here in your journal and you can go to various places and check various menus. And we are going to check out who wants to board our ship. We have a request for passage. Agree to carry the august travel writer to Gator's Morn. We don't know where that is yet, but we'll take it. Sure, why not? Hey, buddy. And we have a tutorial book here. It's been a while since I played this, so this might come in handy, but I will peruse it without you guys here, because this is probably a lot of text to just read, so we'll skip that. I do have the Submariner DLC, so we have the capability to eventually turn our ship into a submarine and go underwater. And there is a process in getting a submarine. No, we are not going to remove the tutorial because I might need it later. And we can check out our lodgings, where we can read the morning papers. We gained recent news. This is actually pretty useful. So you will have a series of different things. Let's see if I can find this. Here we go. In your hold, you'll have cargo and curiosities. Cargo takes up space. As you can see, we have 10 fuel, 6 supplies. So we have 16 out of 40 hold spaces full, because this ship that we have has 40 hold spaces. Curiosities don't take up space. We have an Invictus token. We are in unforgiving mode. Oh, I didn't realize that. Interesting. We have the tutorial book, and we have this recent news. You will be gaining and spending curiosities pretty often. Things like recent news, fragments, secrets, moves in the great game, all kinds of things. And they're all just kind of a similar class of different items. They're sort of tradables, but they're tradable more on a story level than on a economic level. So let's get back out of here. Oops, I want to go back into our gazetteer. Here we go. So we have a study. We don't have a study yet. We have nothing because we have to buy a house. But a house costs 1,000 echoes, so we're not going to. We can, however, go and check out London itself. We can adopt a Blemigan Gallivanter, whatever that is. Looks like it is a... Sure. Is this a mascot? It is, okay. We'll get into what these are in just a minute here. Let's go back to London. You will often come back to the Admiralty's office here because they want information about all kinds of things. They want port reports. They'll want other odds and ends as may come up during the story. If we get strategic information, then we can come home and they'll actually talk to us. If we head over to here, we can hire on more crew. We have 8 crew out of a maximum of 10. The more crew you have, the hungrier they are. And your hunger eats through your supplies. So we're going to leave that alone for now, I think. If we need to repair our ship, we can go into dry dock. And we can then repair ships, or we can request, if we have favor from the Admiralty, then we can get more fuel for a lower price. But we are fine. Our ship is in perfect shape. So let's see what else is here. We have a tomb colonist who would like to go to Venderbite. I think we'll do that. Let's go ahead and take that. And the reason is that we need to start exploring the landscape here. Now, we can go ahead and launch, I guess, because we don't have much else to do. We don't have any money to buy things. So when you launch, I'm going to pause the game with space here. When you launch, you'll see you have 5 engine speeds. And when you're stopped, it's at 0. When you launch, it defaults to 1. You also have a 2. You have -1, -2. These are reverse. And this game is not a fast-paced game. We are moving it in first gear right now. If we go to second gear, we double our speed. Yeah, we're really moving now, aren't we? So, yes, this game is quite slow, but it's kind of a quiet, contemplative, creepy game of exploration. And as you can see, while we are moving around here, we're getting fragments because we're discovering places we haven't been before. When this meter, which is the fragments meter, gets to here, then we will get a secret. And we can spend that secret, if we had an officer, by talking to them and spending the secret, and we can increase one of our stats. We have here 5 stats. We have iron. We're going to crash and land there. We have iron, which is our sort of our attack power, which can affect how heavy your guns hit. We have mirrors, which is our perception, and that will determine how well we can target things in combat. I'm actually going to turn our light off because we are near land here, and using the light actually uses fuel, and so we basically cut our fuel use in about half or maybe by a third by turning off our light. So there we go. As you can see though, since light is off, we are now getting this sort of orange thing going here. That is terror. Terror accumulates over time as you are in dark waters. Let's see, this guy might have spotted us. Let's hope he hasn't. Oh, there we go. We just got a level, or a secret. And we also got something awaits you in port. There are a lot of things going on here. I'm going to try to hit them all if I can. Should be all clear. So, after you've been out at sea for a minute, you'll get something awaits you in port. And it's kind of a means of making sure you're not just kind of hanging out in port and doing nothing and just trying to access randomly generated content in the towns over and over and over again. You gotta wait a minute outside of port, and then you can get into town and do something. We're gonna go ahead and pause right here. So in addition to mirrors, we have veils. Veils is sort of your stealth. Veils makes it harder for enemies to spot you out in the water. Of course, having your lamp on makes it easier for them to spot you, so it's a give and take. Pages is your sort of intelligence stat. Your pages affects how many fragments you require to get a secret. So with our current pages, we have, I have no idea, but over 200 fragments required to get a secret. And then your hearts is kind of a combination of your own hardiness and also your compassion, I guess is the best word. And it isn't really used in combat, and it's really only used for like challenges, like story challenges. So that is that for the stats. Here we have officers, but you don't have any right now. In fact, I don't think we have any at all. We have mascots. Your officers and your mascots can affect your stats. So we have here a Blemigan Gallivanter. If we swap it out for the Comatose Ferret, or swap the Ferret out for the Blemigan, we now have, instead of Hearts +1, we have Mirrors 3 and Pages 2. That's worth it to me. So we'll do that. Now, we were bringing a tomb colonist here to Venderbite. So let's go ahead and dock. Without crashing, please. There we go. You've brought this decaying emigrant north. Now what? Watch carefully. Something is happening to the man in the bandages. He sighs. He groans. He clutches his chest. A soft explosion. Oh my. His bandages burst. Frost moths clamber from the tatters. Nothing of him remains. The frost moths, icy wings shining, take to the air, spiral, dissipate, are gone. He won't pay his passage now. At least he's left his belongings for sale. So I guess we sold their belongings. We got 100 echoes, so we're now at triple our starting echoes. We had them dissolve, okay. We lost a tomb colonist. We got an outlandish artifact, okay. And we got 2 supplies. So the artifact is going to go into our curiosities, because these are used for mostly story stuff, as well as for a couple other odds and ends. But now we are in Venderbite with a D. And let's see. I want to see if I can get rid of these 2 here at some point. I just go. There we go. And we're going to, come on, sell this book. Yes, goodbye. Oh, we got 50 echo for that. Not too bad. So we are in Venderbite, and what do we have here? Everything is locked because we need terror, or we need a submarine, or we need a submarine, okay. But we can explore Venderbite. This will consume our Something Awaits You. So this is this little thing over here. Let's see if there's anything else that wants our Something Awaits You. There is not. But we can gather a port report. We can take this back to London and report to the Admiral with it, and they'll give us some money and some fuel. What is this? Visit the first curator. Z captains, the first curator gives audience. The first curator is responsible for the preservation of the tomb colonies. It has been here much longer than London, like all the oldest tomb colonies. But even tomb colonists dissolve in the end. Its time is close. All right. So what do you want? No more light, the obsequious steward cautions you. The curator is terribly afraid of moths. He opens the door, and you step into near darkness. A pair of luminous lamplighter bees buzz in the latticed ivory tube. There is no other source of light. A bandaged shape, no larger than a child, lies crumpled on a couch. It lifts its head with obvious effort. It takes several seconds for you to distinguish its voice from the soft buzz of the bees. So we can either listen to it, we can ask about the Grand Sanatorium, take the commission, okay, or just leave. Z Captain, silk skin. Not much left of me. I will go into the Grand Sanatorium. Bring me colors, 7 colors. Pay, well. 7 colors? Cosmogon, Irigo, Pelican. Steward has list. Find them here and there across the wide black Z. Okay, so we just got a bit of a quest here to bring some 7 colors back to this person. So let's see. The Grand Sanatorium, we can ask. A long, low chuckling. Oh, Silkskin, you don't want to know. The chuckling becomes a cough. We don't die here below. Not unless we go to Z. So we needed something else, somewhere to end. Creepy. I guess people don't die down here. We'll take the commission. Ah, so now we have the quest. Okay. No more words. Thank you. This poor flesh thirsts for colors. It collapses, rustling, back onto the couch. Even the effort of speaking seems to have diminished it a little. The audience is over. As the door opens, it shrinks from the finger of light that reaches across the floor. Outside, the obsequious steward nods. The book? Yes, the book. He hands you a slim, illustrated volume. The curator is old as dust. We will all be grateful if you do it this one last favor. So we have the Neath bow. I think this is the quest. Return to the curator with each of the 7 impossible colors in hand. The book's pages give you clues, but you'll need to seek far ports. Okay. So we have 7 colors. Apocyan, Cosmogon, Gant, Irigo, Pelican, Violent, and Viric. Okay. I love the descriptions of this game. Everything here in this game has some kind of crazy description. So we can then explore Venderbite. It'll use our Something Awaits You. Here they favor candlelight over gaslight. The shadows are swagged like cobwebs. The tomb colonists stand still enough to be mistaken for sculpture, until they laugh or cough. 1 building in 3 seems abandoned. Remnants. In a wide space behind the hollow temple, you happen across a stepped platform of sorts. 4 statues guard it, marked with glyphs all but lost to time and idle vandalism. They look a little like the glyphs that decorate the Echo Bazaar in London, though. At the heart of the platform is a long-filled well shaft, too. You poke about briefly, but something in the place makes you uneasy. A frost moth, the size of a farmer's hand, flutters down to perch on the well's edge. Another, a third. You retreat. So we got a little bit of experience, some fragments, and we also gained 1 terror, which isn't a ton, but it is a little tick up here. That's all for now. Not much else to do here. I think we can visit a shop. So if we need fuel, it is, however, twice the cost of fuel in London. We can sell recent news for 10 echoes, not really worth it. And we can sell tomb colonists for a pittance. I am thinking about the fuel, but maybe not. So here we have a couple options. We can either keep exploring north or head back to London. I'm kind of leaning toward London because I would like to turn that port report. I would like to get more fuel and then probably strike out from there again. But we could keep going north and head up to sea. I think what's up here should be Wither, I think. It's been a long time. You know what? Let's chance it. Let's go see if we can find Wither. Now, you should know that basically you should always be traveling at 2nd gear. Because while it uses twice as... oh, darn it. While it uses twice as much fuel, you'll get places faster. Ow. Stupid bats. So let me stop and explain this combat while we're stuck in it. Combat, you have your weapon arcs here. We only have 2 deck weapons, as denoted by these sort of giant arc here. And when this charges up and hits green, we can then fire it and be assured to hit. We can fire it earlier, but if we do, we have a good chance of missing. So let's go ahead and we're going to try to keep these bats inside this arc. That will let this charge. And once it lights up, we shoot. They come smack us. We've taken... ouch. Man, these guys hit hard for a pack of bats. Go away. Ow. And 1 more shot. Get him out. Bang. There we go. Now we can interact with them. We can dispose of the corpses, or we can gather them up and put them into the pot. I think we will just reduce the terror. We don't really need food. So there we go. All clear. Put our guns away and continue onward. So as I was saying, in 2nd gear, you use twice as much fuel, but you also move twice as fast. And because of that, that means that you're going to get where you're going twice as fast, which means that you'll use half as many supplies. So in general, you really always want to be in 2nd gear unless you need to be stealthy or navigate some kind of difficult terrain here. But let's see what's up this coast. And I should say, this map here is somewhat randomized. There are sections in the map that we will get to at some point once we expand our discoveries here. But the left and bottom sides of the map, and I think the top, are always the same. Right along the edges here, they're always the same. It's the areas in here and off on the right side of the map to the east that can change or are randomized with each playthrough. Ooh, I don't want to deal with you. Lights off. We're going to slip right between this buoy and the land. And man, this engine is slow. Yeah, we are... I think this is Wither. Gonna find out. This we can at least sail beneath. We won't crash into anything here. Now, when your lights come on like that, that means that you are in darkness. That's when your terror will increase. So we are, yes, we are in Wither. Here we go. And we can stop in and say hello. Hello. So here we can buy and sell fuel and supplies and beach salt, but only for Z stories. So we can't actually buy fuel here. And same here. They need Tales of Terror that we can sell for Stygian Ivory, the figurehead of the Eater of Names. We can sell it here, never mind, not buy. We can sell anatomical cabinets, and we can sell star shells here. And look at us, a lot of interesting stuff. So, let's hop on into Wither. Let's do... See, we don't need to do shortage because we don't have any terror. We're terror 0, which is great. Let's gather intelligence, get our report going on. And we'll explore the town and use our something awaits you. Wither is a quiet, chilly town of gray stone and closed courtyards. The people are neither exactly unfriendly nor exactly hospitable. They have the irritating habit of answering a question with a question. Here and there are odd sights tucked away. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, who will try? Who will buy? A street vendor turns skewers on a grill. The mixed scents are nothing like anything sold in London. We can try the grilled troglodyte prawns. Huge and pale, and their eyes stare bleakly into yours, but they smell fresh. We can try the shredded jellyfish. Do you have anything more robust? So this requires that we have a menace, which is kind of a detrimental quality. One called unaccountably peckish. We'll get to how you get that at some point, possibly. The less said about that, the better, I think. Let's see. Let's do the shredded jellyfish because we have at least a 30% chance of success. Let's do it. Okay. We failed the challenge. We got 1 terror and we lost 2 hunger, which isn't a lot of hunger, to be honest. But there you go. That was a hearts challenge. That's pretty much all you can do with it. We could now reduce terror, but we don't have much of it, so it's fine. Let's go ahead and let's launch, and we're going to head back to Fallen London, and we're going to hope that our fuel will take us there. And I think one of the first things I want to buy, more for the interests of being able to play this game and record it in a reasonable amount of time, is that, you see, this is just super slow. So we'll be buying an engine and installing that as fast as we can. And I do think that I might, although this is my sort of low game, Star Sector and Wildmender and Smallland and all, those were all sort of my low effort games. I have 1 high and 1 low, and the low game gets sort of less attention when editing. And it's sort of a playing to enjoy it and enjoy it along with you. Not so much me providing huge numbers of tips and tricks and tutorials and so on, because I generally don't know my low game as well as I do Vintage Story, which is my main game on the channel. Let's get here. I don't think we need to stop at Venterbite. I think we can make it back to London. And you'll see we have a fog bank here, and our logbook notes that. And what the fog bank will do is it will reduce the rate at which you acquire a lock-on, a firing solution. However, it will also make you harder to spot. On the flip side, it also increases your terror gain. So there are pros and cons to basically everything in this game. Now, as these tick by, oh dear, are you a friendly ship? I think you are. Okay, good. There are very few friendly ships in this game. Very, very few. As this logbook ticks by, what'll happen is that something that awaits you has a random number associated with it. And that random number generally, but not always, is used in port to determine what kinds of events are available at that port. And it gets randomized at the first minute, so when you first get something awaits you. And then every time you see a random... Thank you. Every time you see a random sort of note about things, that denotes that the randomizer has struck again. Basically, every minute it randomizes again. And if you keep an eye on the wiki, there is actually a list of what each of these mean and what the values are. I don't have an extra screen, and I don't really want to be spending my time scrolling the wiki while trying to record and talk to you guys, so we're just going to let random numbers be random. And we are home at last. Let's stop in port and see what we have. So, we can collect messages from the harbor master. Sure. Something has changed in the Neath. Now this... Okay. I'm not sure what this does exactly. But we have someone else who wants to sign on. That could be an officer. It could just be more crew. We have a free evening, and there's the Rose Market. The Rose Market is like a place where you can go and get some random or randomized events happening. Oh, hey. I think I see who wants to sign on. Let's see. Consider a specialist surgeon. She is staying at a respectable boarding house near the docks and has made it known that she is available for work. Okay. So we can sign on the clattery heir as a doctor who increases hearts and iron. So some challenges. We may have been able to eat that jellyfish successfully if we had better hearts. And we will deal more damage in combat, despite her being a doctor. For 30 echoes? Sure, let's do it. No more recruits, okay. We can go to officers here, and we can drag our surgeon to the surgeon. As you can see, we have iron and hearts +6. We have a doctor aboard. That can be important for some events. We can also talk to them. We can dine with them. We can answer questions about our past. We can also, if we have... What is this? Okay, so once we start to get to know her, we can spend our secrets to improve our hearts score up to 100. So let's go ahead and let's dine with her. Does she wield a fork the way she wields a surgical instrument? Let's find out. Precise bite sizes. The cooked flesh arrives still in its shell, from the claws, 8 legs, body, and head. She renders a dozen neat bite-sized piles of shredded flesh, sutured with mushroom or pinned together with a needle of chitin. Perhaps she has missed a calling as a chef. She denies it. My mother was the child of a surgeon in the first city. You might say that knife work runs in the family. There is a wicked, quirking smile at the corner of her mouth. Then there are the rumors about my father. She would deny there's any truth in those. That's been supplies, but we're now learning about the clattery heir. And that means that we can now, if we want to spend a secret, we only have 2 right now, to increase our hearts. Now, our hearts is not generally considered the most important stat in the game, so I'm going to leave it at that for now. If we want to, we can choose a past. But I'm not ready to do that yet because there are certain things that we want a shadowy past for. Let's see, we have someone wanting to give us a little gift. Hello. So we have the Blind Bruiser. A very fine evening to you, Captain. My, what you might call, mentor is very fond of adventurous Z captains, and he would like to offer you what you might call a dispensation, on account of he is so fond of captains. Behind the Blind Bruiser on the dock stands a dray piled high with fuel and supplies. So we can take it, which would be fuel and supplies, which is nice. Who is this patron? He runs a very fine and very liberal establishment just across the river, what is much patronized by sailors and by men of wit and vinegar. A public house, and there is no obligation to speak of. My patron would hope only that you might remember him kindly, and I suppose that if the opportunity should arise for you to return his kindness, then I do not imagine he would refuse your offer. Sure, let's do it. However, we now have suspicion. So that means that if we arrive at London with something awaits you, we might have attention from the local authorities on us. Let's go to the Roser's Wharf. Let's see, we can give our outlandish artifact to a privy collector. I don't know what that would do for us. Let's find out. Yeah, we got some money. Got a good amount of money, too. Okay. That's a pretty decent trade, I think. We can also visit London, and we are going to now go to the Admiralty's Survey Office. So here is where we can turn in our port reports. We can give them vendor bite. You'll get a handful of echoes, usually like 10 to 30, depending on how far away they are. You'll get a favor, or a level of favor, and you'll gain fuel. You also lose the port report. So pretty handy way to just keep topped up on fuel. Always, always, always get port reports whenever you go anywhere. So here we got 20 because Wither is farther away than vendor bite. And again, 1 favor and 1 fuel. So let's see. We can try this, but I don't think I'll take us. No, we have to do 3 ports and then return. Okay, that's fine. So we can then visit the university if we want to. It does require use of a secret. We probably should, honestly. Yeah, let's do that. Get that started. The university has an inexhaustible appetite for secrets, Z specimens, and other tidbits of esoteric lore. Provide a secret to prove yourself worthy of entry. Quite impressed. Oh, yes. The university's maritime liaison whispers breathily. Oh, yes, this is quite a tasty one. Let me explain it to you. He explains, teeth glinting. The game's prose is very much like this. It's very open to interpretation, and specifics are often not provided, which I think is very interesting. It sort of leaves a lot to the imagination. So we lost our secret, but we gained 1 pages, which is probably the hardest stat to increase, and we now have a favor of the antiquarian. So we can then sell odds and ends to this person and get money and other odds and ends from them back. But we don't have anything to sell them. We have to have extraordinary implications, searing enigmas, and more searing enigmas. Let's go back to London. We're going to carouse in Wolfstack Docks. We can probably lose some terror, and we might run into trouble or romance. Let's check it out. We were fortunate. Lost 3 terror. It did cost us some money. We do have recent news, however. I think that's about it here. Our lodgings. We still don't have a house, so we can't do anything here. I don't think there's anything to purchase that we can afford for our ship. We have the elderly steeple engine already installed. We can't afford any of these guys. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think we want any of these weapons either. The approach 1212. What does our ship do? 8 damage. You know what? I could go for an upgrade on damage output. Let's see, this is a forward weapon. We don't have forward slots. Forward, aft, forward, deck. I think deck is all we have right now. I wouldn't mind a bigger deck weapon, but we don't have 900 echoes, so nope. Let's go ahead and we'll buy this winnower here. Nope, not winnower. We want the reproach. Yeah. We can then sell our old one. And we are going to install our new gun. Nice. Okay. Well, everyone, we are ready for the next leg of our adventure. But I think we're going to call it there, because I'm going to try to have episodes that are between 30 to 45 minutes. Hopefully not stretching to an hour, but if need be, we could. So yeah, we're going to call it there. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, my name has been Kurazarrh. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.